Walt Shneer, Edison. I think it's about time the council heard our views more times than once. All due respect to the people in this room, let's give the council a chance to discuss it with us now and see what the vote is. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the public? Mr. Karabinchak?
Yeah, Rob Karabinchak, 84 Webb Street. Just to recap and bring up one of the other issues I brought up at the last meeting. Obviously, I'd like the first issue is the taxpayers not to be paying for this should be the developers. That's their problem. This is our town. Don't increase my taxes with this ordinance. Number two, eminent domain, keep control of it, change the ordinance, that this council keeps control, period. And number three, the funding language that your expert said that would be able to put into there, utilize your expert, utilize those words to keep the funding that this council has to approve any type of funding on any redevelopment area. With that being said, at the last meeting, I asked through the council president, and unfortunately Mr. Leary left and Mr. Harding was there, was to please ask all of the council people if there was any conflicts with regarding voting on this. If I could ask through the chair if that happened, if it didn't.
Council, did you find any conflicts?
I found no conflicts, Council President.
Okay, then maybe you could explain a few to me and to the public on how the perception of conflicts or conflicts of roles actually works. As I asked that you inform everybody on the council, and maybe you can inform the public about conflict of interest and conflict of roles. Obviously, there's different ideas and different concepts about conflicts. However, with the application, and I'm tying this all right to the application, which is, to me, is right now a critical document in your decision making. And if you don't read it, you obviously don't know what you just did. And with the highest respect for Dr. Prasad, and I have the highest respect, and I obviously have a copy of his disclosure form, which is he obviously put forward regarding the properties that he owns, just as I did when I sat on the council, just like I sat on any board. The doctor owns quite a bit of properties in Edison, and that's good. I have no problem with that. That means he has a vested interest in Edison. However, some of the properties that he owns happens to be in the areas that's under the collective. Some of the areas that he owns happens to be in the area where it's being now called collectively an area of redevelopment. He owns the property in that area. So how can he vote to create the agency if there's no conflict there? Then obviously the doctor, as a lot of other people do, with a lot of properties, you have a lot of partners. You have a lot of LLCs. And in those LLCs, there's multiple members. Unfortunately, there's no disclosure on those members. I'm asking that there is full disclosure. And there should be, because the members that sit in these LLCs have the potential of an indirect or a direct benefit by creating this agency. Now, obviously, there's two attorneys here. I'm going to ask for their legal opinions when I'm done talking. But I don't want to see anyone get in trouble. That's not what the purpose of this is. At all. That's not at all. But if you want to be with open government and fair, you have to ask for full disclosure on every member of every one of these LLCs to see if there's a benefit. Because if there is, that's not just a conflict, now there's other problems that are gonna come down the road. With regard to, again, I'm gonna ask that there's full disclosure on everyone that's in all of the LLCs. Again, with regarding to the application, the doctor owns property in that, I can't see him voting for it. And if there's no conflict there, there's a conflict on every one of the applications that come in front of this council for an area of redevelopment, rehabilitation, revitalization, whatever other cute word comes up in the next year. The doctor would be prohibited from voting on it. Putting it into an area, the planning of it, or anything. So if I may ask the Council President to both Mr. Lear and Mr. Baumann, they can give me their opinions on the conflict of role, the conflict of interest, and the definition of both